the shit. So
there's little paws under my door.
There's little paws under your door. Bring the puppers. Bring the puppers in.
She can hear me.
She wants to be on the podcast, I think is what it is.
Just a second.
Cute little puppers.
You're trying to get in? Come in here. It's okay.
It's like, I just wanted to be with you. Oh, there's the little bean. So cute.
Little bean.
Oh, she's so happy.
I just friend kissed the dog.
There she is.
Hello, sweetheart. I love that you put like a little pink collar on her with a little flower.
Yeah, it's on her.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You have so much energy. This is why I wanted you out.
That's okay. Those are cute little puppers.
I'm gonna
Oh.
say hi. Say hi.
Do you want to bark into the mic?
She doesn't bark. We don't let her bark.
Oh, okay. My dog barks.
She shivers.
Oh, my dog
You're
shivers
6
too.
pounds. You shiver and you whine.
Oh.
Right now she's shivering. Why are you shivering? Are you too excited?
She's just so thrilled to be, and she's like,
To
I've
be
been
in the same
trying
room."
for the last hour and a half to get into this room.
She literally spent all day at work on my lap, and now she's like,
Oh, what is this? The mic? You want to smell the mic? Okay.
all right, let's see if I can get her to be a little calmer.
That's okay. She's welcome. She's welcome. Speaking of welcome to the Feminine Mistake Podcast, a podcast about dogs.
She's a female dog.
Female dogs.
A podcast about female dogs and their renowned movie roles in Hollywood history. It's not, though.
It sounds like a terrible podcast.
Are you kidding? I could feel like we could totally do a podcast just about movies that have dogs in them. We could do a movie about all the Air Bud. We could do Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. We could do Lassie. We could do
Is it Beethoven or
Beethoven. Guys, I feel like that's a whole season right there.
The Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Turner and Hooch.
What's the one with the sad dog story?
There's lots of sad dogs.
Old Yeller.
No, with Owen Wilson.
Oh,
The Fox and the Hound.
Owen Wilson was in a dog movie.
Was it Owen Wilson? No, I don't know.
Owen Wilson played a dog.
There a dog
that dies at the
movie
end?
that came out last year where a dog
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
There's like a reincarnated dog movie that came out last year.
That sounds like terrible.
Stupid.
That was like a dog that gets reincarnated in several different dogs and like lives with this boy for like his whole life from like childhood.
That sounds
that's
fucking crazy.
Is it a cartoon at least, or is it like
fever dream?
Oh,
is
it's
this?
live action.
All dogs go to heaven. All dogs
up.
go to heaven. All dogs go to heaven. You know. Actually, the Feminine Mistake Podcast is a show where we watch your favorite. Actually, we watch your favorite movies, or maybe some that you haven't heard of, TV shows as well, and we talk about how women or robotic women are portrayed in them. I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
I'm your other host, Sarah.
And our special guest, we've got Ina joining us again for a round 2 of Ex Machina. Thanks for being on the show, Ina. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's been so long.
So let's shoot the shit, guys. Ina, you wanted to tell us about a show that you've been watching that you can highly recommend
I've
us to
watched
watch
it twice already.
Twice? Okay,
Yes.
tell us all about it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry, I have a dog on my lap. Ow, ow, no biting.
So it's unorthodox, and it's, how do I not ruin it? It's based on a memoir by Deborah Feldman.
Okay.
Some Jewish name.
Okay.
And it's a girl who lives in an ultra-Orthodox neighborhood in New York, and her escape from it to Berlin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's all I'm going to give you. But
that sounds very interesting. So what time period does this take place in?
I think now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like, you feel like it's maybe in the 30s or something because the way the community is built.
Okay.
They're very, is segregated the word?
No,
they're very separated than the rest of the world. They have their own rules. It's a very specific ultra-Orthodox,
sort of culturally like cut off from the rest of
completely.
society. Yeah.
Like they're not allowed to watch TV. There's no internet, no smartphones.
How do they raise their children? Do they actually, sounds like they actually have to talk to them. Sounds terrible, frankly.
Well, they don't talk to them. They tell them what to do. There's no like free thinking.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. Men study, they don't work, they just study all day, and women birth babies.
Oh, no, I think after a couple, I'd be done with that. How many do you have to have?
As many as you can, as many as physically possible. And you get married like 18 and you start popping them out.
No.
And it's just so good. The way it's directed and acted, and the cast, some of the cast are actual ultra-Orthodox Jews.
Wow.
So it's really interesting. And it's all in Yiddish.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, and where can we see this? Is it on Netflix?
I think it's on Netflix. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'll definitely check it out. If we're going to talk about it, we should have you back on to talk about it.
Dude, it's so good. Half of the cast is Israeli, so you can really like hear I can hear the Yiddish of the Americans and the Israelis, because you can tell.
Oh, is it different? Okay.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have any idea, but
no, you wouldn't. It's all Yiddish. Just some of it sounds more American Yiddish, some of it sounds more,
I see,
like Hebrew Yiddish to me.
Okay.
I'm Israeli. Hi, anyone?
No, that is an excellent recommendation, and I'm gonna add that to my queue. Sarah, have you been watching anything that you want to? You must have been. Are you watching anything, or are you just writing things?
Nothing, just write.
So you haven't watched anything except for movie nights?
No.
On Friday.
Wow.
Nothing.
Which last week we watched Bad Boys 3 and you ducked out real fast. Or Bad Boys for Life. Bad Boys 4. Bad Boys for Life.
Sounds awful.
I honestly was falling asleep, not because I was bored, but because I was very sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was not a great movie, but it was very fun to roast. It was a hilarious movie I enjoyed watching it because of the company. But I probably wouldn't have finished it I probably wouldn't have turned it. I'm not a big action movie person. Maybe that's the way you feel about sci-fi, Ina. Maybe that's how I feel about action movies.
I feel about action the same way I feel about sci-fi.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
No.
Yeah. I just don't need a lot of explosions.
I need emotional connection with the character.
Although you guys know there's like a Chris Hemsworth movie on Netflix that's called Extraction.
Ooh.
Is he shirtless?
Probably. I feel like for scientific purposes, I might have to check it out. It's for science.
It's thirsty quarantine. We're allowed.
During thirsty quarantine, all the rules can be broken. And even though I don't like action movies, Chris Hemsworth, I can make an exception for that.
Yes.
It's my reasoning for wanting to watch. How did I forget his name? The one with Jason. Oh my God! My dog is driving me nuts.
Momoa.
Just Momoa, the
Aquaman.
I watched Aquaman. It was terrible. I watched it on a plane. Coming home from China. I watched that.
Did his hotness carry the film, though?
No.
Mm.
He's not even a good actor too. Like at least Chris Hemsworth is like watchable, but like Jason Momoa was just like.
Was it just like the script was bad, or he was just like
he was bad, and it was just bad.
Not even the pecs could save it.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I just look at pictures of him. They'll be good enough.
Yeah, there you go. He's also in the new Dune movie, right? Jason Momoa. Also, Oscar Isaac and Timothy Chalamet are in the new Dune movie. Dune. Anyone?
I don't know Dune.
It's sci-fi. More sci-fi. I know it's a big thing in the sci-fi community. I have never read Dune. My husband loves it. It's not my thing. But other people, now that Timothy Chalamet is in it and Oscar Isaac, though, it has piqued my interest. It's on my radar now.
Timothy Chalamet looks like he's 13.
Ew, Sarah, no.
He's so young. He looks so young.
Are you admonishing me? All right then. So I recently watched a movie that I recommended to Sarah, which is The Dead Don't Die, which is a Jim Jarmusch movie. So Jim Jarmusch, who has made Coffee and Cigarettes and a bunch of, so he's like this indie film guy, right? And he's known for having really big casts, weird, like unusual, quirky dialogue, that sort of indie stuff. And it's a zombie movie. So it's a movie like a weird, quirky indie movie, but in a zombie universe. And
okay, you struck my fancy. I'm interested.
I really liked it. In fact, I started watching it by myself, and like 10 minutes in, I was like, I have to watch this with Chris. It's weird and bizarre, and like definitely an homage to the George Romero zombie films, but not in a way that is like annoying, where other films are like, I like George Romero, and it's like, yeah, fucking we all do, like get over it. But like also the movie is I will say surprising in its and I'm not saying anything you won't know from watching the trailer, but I'll give you an example. So first of all, speaking of thirsty quarantine, Adam Driver is in it. So if that if that appeals to you, which it does
weird
to
how
me.
hot he is.
Why is he so hot? Like
he's so
why?
ugly that it makes him so
He's not
sexy.
ugly. He's not ugly. He's so
not ugly.
beautiful.
He's odd. Look.
He's not conventionally handsome, but
which
he's
is what I
sexy.
love. I know. He has
AF.
giant hands.
Yes, I love giant
Also, he's
hands.
talented. He's an actually good
Such a
actor,
good
which is
actor.
very attractive.
Yes, he's amazing. So he's in it, and he's great. Bill Murray is in it. Chloe Sevigny.
I'm obsessed with Chloe Sevigny. She's like, oof, she's a goddess.
And she's like,
She can
I
do
feel
no
like
wrong.
I feel like her part is like not something I'm used to seeing her play. Like it seems like that character is like not what I would immediately put her in that role. So I really liked that. Steve Buscemi's in it. Donnie Glover is in it. It's a really good cast. And so here's an example of the type of thing that you're in for. So there's a scene in the trailer where Adam Driver and Bill Murray play these like small town cops, right? And so it's Adam Driver, but he's also like wearing a police uniform. So if that's something you're into, like check the box on that kink. Anyway, so they go to this diner where people have been eaten by zombies. Okay, this is all in the trailer, so I'm not telling you anything that you couldn't see in the trailer. And Bill Murray is like, so like, what do you think did this? Do you think it's like wild animals? And Adam Driver is like, yeah, I'm thinking zombies. And so it's like, this is the kind of movie that's like self-aware of the world
Like
that's
very
in.
meta.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's not annoying. It works. It's like, I mean, to me, it's like we've all seen zombie movies. If you have enough signs point to zombie, wouldn't you start to think that it must be zombies? Even though every other zombie movie you've seen, like nobody's ever heard of a fucking zombie before.
It's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's great. I loved it, and I really want you guys to watch it so I can talk about it.
I want to. It sounds really interesting.
Also,
It's
I'm
a good cast.
trying to figure out the ending, so I want to talk to somebody about that.
Okay, where can I see it?
I actually rented it or bought it. I had to buy it. I think I bought it on Amazon. It's also on YouTube, and or I think you can rent it on Amazon for like $5 or $6. And then if you have Stars, which I don't, it's free on Stars. Apparently, it's one of those paid cable thingies.
No, I have regular people things.
But yeah, you can rent it on Amazon, I think, for like $5 or $6. So The Dead Don't Die. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I like Jim Jarmusch a lot, so he seems like a fun fella to do a movie with. Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton's also in it, and she plays her character is fucking really cool. Really, really cool. Oh, and Carol Kane.
That
so
woman
many
is always
people.
cool.
Oh, she's so cool. And they really play around with her image a lot in this movie, like her image as an actor, I guess, is
like her physical appearance.
Yeah, like yes. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Well, her face is that's what makes her like so interesting. Her face. So interesting to watch.
Yeah. So I highly recommend. So go watch it so we can talk about it.
Okay.
So I want to talk about it.
It's on my list. I'll watch it tomorrow.
Speaking of talking about it, I'm really good with the segues tonight, right?
Yeah.
Totally seamless.
Talk.
Shall we talk about Ex Machina?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's dive right back into the intricacies of robot love with Ex Machina.
Robot love and robot lust.
Ava. Go back to your room. If I do, are you ever gonna let me out?
Yes. Stop. Stop. Ava, I said stop. Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? Stop. Stop. That's enough. Taking you back.
All right, let's get on to somebody's list. Ina, I think you're up next.
Again, snarky comments.
Go for it.
So after he like cuts his wrist and whatever, he sees the video and then he starts walking around the house looking for Nathan.
Yes.
How the hell did he find the way back to his room when all the walls are flat? There's no doors.
This is after he cuts his wrist. I think it doesn't. It cut to the next morning. Are you talking about when
there was
Nathan
a scene where he left the room and made it back, and I kept wondering how did he make it back?
I know that was. I admit that's. I mean, I would have had trouble getting.
I get lost in regular houses.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the intention of Nathan's design, but I think you might be thinking of the part where he takes the key card and wanders around. Maybe. I don't know. He's been there for a couple days. Maybe he figured it out.
I don't know.
Maybe he left himself some breadcrumbs.
And some blood drip.
He just
from
some
his wrist.
blood droplets and just followed his way back.
That's a really creepy Hansel and Gretel.
Yes.
There was a part where Nathan talks about, does she like you? Does she not like you? And then he's like, yeah, she has sex. She's loved having sex. So he started that conversation with, I'm like a father to her. And then he ends it with, she loves getting pounded. And I was like, oh, that's a weird.
Interesting. So do you think he's had sex with her?
Probably?
I don't think so.
Well, he's had sex with the other robots for sure. And he built her the same way. So is he just saying
I felt like he was telling him like how she's designed. Like he designed her to do this, and
he just went from like, I'm like a father to her, to she loves like
that was certainly an uncomfortable situation.
It gave me like a Woody Allen type of feeling for a moment there.
Yes, that there was something very Woody Allen, Roman Polanski-esque about that whole situation. Here, let's talk about this then. Why give the women, is it just for him? Why give the women the sexy parts so that they can enjoy themselves?
Right. And he really made a point of saying that it was pleasurable to her.
Yeah.
And I was like,
interesting.
You guys care about that? Like,
yes, they do. God, Sarah, that's the saddest fucking thing I've ever heard. Yes, they should.
Guys who build a sex doll, would they care if the sex doll enjoys it?
I'm talking about sex dolls. I'm talking about why would someone design a sex doll to like having sex?
Yeah.
Well, that's my question. Is it for him because he needs to feel like he's doing a good job? Because we know he's having sex with the robots. Or there's a couple things to consider here. Is he doing it for him, Nathan? Is he doing it because he thinks that having those parts will make her more human? Or is he telling Caleb this because he's trying to get Caleb to feel attracted to her?
Yes.
Like, to feel like it's okay to be attracted to her because she can enjoy herself as well.
Exactly, so that he will sympathize with her and try to help her escape,
because
which is his goal.
I remembered that scene when I watched it this time, when you see her, and I kept looking for where that could be, and it didn't. I was like, I don't see. I mean, unless like the little area down here are like shorts, and she can just pull them back. And
you mean she's got a vagina flap that she can just
exactly. Like I was like, where is it? I was like looking for it this time.
Oh well, yeah, I don't know.
She had an interesting design, yeah.
Well, yeah, presumably it's down there somewhere. I have to say, it does make me happy to know that ultimately, as she moves on with her life, she can enjoy.
That made me happy too.
A sexual relationship with someone at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, she should. She's been through enough.
Yeah, she definitely deserves someone to.
I hope Nathan never had sex with her. That makes me upset to think about, but I guess it's possible.
It wasn't that a big part of why he was building them as women?
I think that
with functioning parts.
Good question. I think that my guess is that he was trying to build the perfect AI. And when the ones that didn't come out perfect became sex robots. That's kind of what I thought the situation was.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Yeah. I thought he was just building fancy sex robots.
I mean, he certainly could make a ton of money doing that, but he seemed to be more interested in
the brain.
I guess. That seemed he wanted to be God.
He wanted to be God.
Create a human. I mean, so he wanted to create something godlike and therefore make himself a god.
I was wondering, why do all robots have a British accent?
It's a good question.
Why does an American build a robot that does not have an American accent?
Well, the answer is we don't want to hear our crappy accents.
Yeah.
I think that's really the answer.
Also because robots are supposed to sound intelligent.
Yes, exactly. And we Americans do not sound intelligent. Sarah, what you got on your list?
Power cuts.
Ooh, yes, the power cuts. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So, when did you guys know that it was her? Like the first time you saw it, when did you know it was her?
When she said it was her. It's embarrassing. I didn't realize.
No, that's okay.
Was going on.
It's been a while, so I don't remember. But I do feel like it took a couple of times for me to figure it out. I think it was when she told him the first time she cuts the power and then says, "You can't trust Nathan. He lies."
Yeah.
That's when I think I started to suspect that maybe she was
cut
causing
the power
cuts.
when he was in his room, and she looked at the can, like she had her hand on the wall. She looked like in his direction at the camera, and then the power went off. Of course,
but I'm stupid, so it takes me a while to figure these things out.
Same, apparently.
So like the first time I saw it, I didn't know then, but I did know when she started talking to him after it went out. I was like, oh, she's doing this.
Yeah. I definitely feel like once the power goes out and she asks him says very pointedly to him, "You can't trust Nathan." I think that's when I became suspicious that she was causing the power outages.
So
how did Nathan know? How would he not figure that out?
Yeah, I don't know. But
I guess he did. He put the camera in there. Anyway.
I have a follow-up question with that. When she said, "You can't trust Nathan," did you then think, why should I trust you?
I did wonder that.
Yeah.
I did wonder that the whole time, but I think I definitely trusted her a lot more the first time I watched the movie.
Oh, I trusted her so much the first time I watched it. I was so, and we'll get to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely feel like I trusted her, but I mean, she's not wrong. Nathan is a liar, but she's also, I mean, he's a liar, but you can't trust him.
Yeah.
But you can't trust her either. So
yeah.
I mean,
if you were trapped and you had her intelligence, wouldn't you do what you could to escape?
Oh, I don't blame her at all. Like, let's get that out right away. Does anybody blame her for what she does?
I mean, no, but I thought maybe she would like let him go.
Yeah.
Caleb,
well, let's
that is, not
let me
Nathan.
see. Let's I think maybe now's a good time. Before we get to the end, I do want to
Yes.
talk about the discovery of the other robots, and then maybe we talk about the end. Is that so? Because I think that's an important scene. So, Caleb falls in love with Ava. He then begins to wonder what's going to happen to her once if Nathan decides that she's not the perfect robot. And Nathan is very clear that he's just going to take her apart and build another one.
Put her in his closet.
Yeah. And you can see I think it's very clear. You can see the moment where Caleb decides that he's now going to let her go. And so he gets Nathan super drunk and goes to the computer. And this is where Chris was like, this whole plan would have worked fine if he hadn't brought a programmer over there. If he had just brought some average schmo off the street, like he never would have figured out how to let her go. That was the problem, was bringing in a software developer to
what was the point of him being a software developer? Like, couldn't he have been someone else who would have been qualified to test the AI?
Well, the whole pretense was that they were bringing somebody from the company to do this experiment. Remember at the beginning there was like a contest, and he thought he had won the contest or whatever. So
do you think he was going? Sorry,
no, you go ahead.
Do you think he was going to get rid of Caleb at the end of it? Because he chose someone without a family, without friends, without any ties.
I think he was.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
And there was a time when Nathan did an aside that was like, had the blah, 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 build this place. And then I had them build this place, and then I had them taken care of, or like
he said I had them killed. You're right. He said I brought them out here to build this fortress, and then I had them all killed. And Caleb looks at him, and he doesn't say I'm just kidding.
He doesn't say just kid. He
doesn't say psych or anything like that.
But Caleb thinks that he did and laughs.
I don't know. I think Caleb.
No, I
don't know why Caleb stayed there that long. To be honest with you guys,
yeah.
If it wasn't for the promise of a little bit of robot
action.
Honestly, the first day that I walked in there and had one conversation with Nathan, I would be like, you know what? I gotta go.
I feel like once I would see the punching bag, it's like, oh, someone has aggression issues. I'll see you later.
Right. It's just like, but so he gets Nathan really drunk, and he takes his key card, and he goes and guys, the videos of the other robots. Can we talk about it? How did you feel about that?
Horrifying.
When you're going through the footage of all the other versions.
I was thinking, who edited this together?
Oh, the video. Well, those were just security cam footage. Are you talking about the actual editor of the movie?
No, not the editor of the movie, but how he flipped through and saw these things perfectly in the CC sequence. And then there was a time
he pulled up the folders. They had timestamps on them, I think he pulled up folders
where they were like sped up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, is he speeding it up? Or it
that's
pulled
a
me
good
out
question.
Of the
gotcha.
moment, because it felt perfectly put together, and I was like, there's no way he just opened this computer.
I think that maybe was meant to be a psychological thing, but the image of the woman, and we see the break in that glass. They show it to us very clearly at the beginning of the movie. The woman who says, "Let me out," and she's banging against the wall, and then she's like banging against the door until her hands like
fall apart.
Oh my God, that was like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Right, her wrist like disintegrate.
Yeah,
as she's banging on the wall.
And it wasn't as mind blowing for me this time.
The
closet, Ina, please walk me through your feelings during the scene.
God, that was horrifying. He walks into the room.
Mm-hmm.
He opens those closet doors, and there's naked women in like different parts hung.
First on the bed is a naked
Kyoko, right?
And he just walks in, and it's like he already knows that she's a robot.
I think he figured it out at that point. Yeah. And then she pulls back her skin and shows
off her
him.
eye.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't understand why she pulled off her torso and then her face. It was like, you already pulled off your torso. I know you're a robot. Like,
Yeah.
why do you have to pull off your face?
Maybe she just really needed him to know. I mean, she can't talk, and maybe she just needed him, because I think that was a moment of Kyoko having a little bit of agency.
Yeah.
I don't think Nathan would have wanted her to do that,
No.
but so that was just her like showing her true self for like a minute there, you know?
Yeah.
It gave me like a Silence of the Lambs kind of feel.
Yeah.
And faces on the wall.
Yeah.
Like his art around the house was like faces on walls.
And well, I definitely think there's a whole undercurrent here of like, what is humanity? Like, Nathan is made of flesh and blood, but does he have a lot of humanity? I think it's questionable.
Right.
And these robots, like as a society, as we move towards sentient robots, are those robots, should we treat them with that as we would treat human beings? And we discussed this on Making Mr. Right. Like, should we treat these sentient robots with humanity? And a lot of people feel like, no, they're just machines. I can just unplug them.
And this is a movie. This is a cautionary tale.
I mean, I agree. I definitely feel like we should.
Because if we want them to have, if they're going to be sentient, what we need to come with sentience is conscience,
compassion.
And you can't have a conscience if you don't have compassion and empathy. If you don't show someone empathy, they won't have that empathy, that conscience, and then they'll do terrible things. Somehow I doubt
that we will be treating them with humanity.
I doubt
what
it.
Would be their rights? And where do you draw the line between this is a robot and this is a human?
Yeah.
And they're going to be trying to send them into like dangerous jobs and like gross jobs and things that people won't want to do. It opens up a whole new. I know. Well, they're all going to subjugate us, obviously, because they're superior beings to us in every way. Yeah. Or maybe we'll be robot human hybrids. I don't know. But it's certainly a moral question for sure, which I think the movie gives us a sense that humanity is based on your actions and not necessarily what you're made of, I think, ultimately.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this ending.
Yes.
So Caleb tells her that he's going to disable the security protocol, which is for the doors to lock, so that she can get out.
Did you ask Chris if this could have been done in a day, a night, an hour, like that he could have completely rewritten that?
He didn't. I think all he needed to do was go in there and change a command. I think it would be pretty easy to do that.
I have a side note.
Yeah.
Was anyone else bothered by the fact that he has all this technology? He has an entire room of AIs, whatever, but he's using sticky notes?
Actually, I really loved the image of the sticky notes.
I loved how it looked, but I was also like, there's like, you could type this up.
I will tell you, I have tons of technology and I still make to-do lists in a notebook. Because
yeah, but his entire house is technology. His entire world is technology.
But
I thought it was so odd.
I think the way the human mind works is like sometimes you physically need pieces of paper, and maybe that helps him think. I found it believable. A lot of people, need that physical paper to move around.
Fine.
I'm just saying. I mean, you cannot agree with me, absolutely, but I definitely.
I kept staring at it, and I'm like, why? Why are you using paper? Why are you using paper?
And a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, is he getting Amazon orders dropped off?
Anything?
I know he's got
sticky notes.
The helicopter's dropping off Amazon boxes full of Post-its every couple of days.
Yeah.
So Caleb says to Ava that he's going to disable the security protocols and she needs to trigger lockdown at 10 p.m. Nathan has already put a camera in there and knows what the plan is and believes that he has gotten exactly what he wants, which is that Caleb has agreed to free the robot, but he's off. He's wrong because Caleb outsmarted him and actually disabled the lockdown system the night before, which I think was a really great fucking twist.
It was a lot of twists in a row.
A lot of twists. A lot of twists.
I don't know. I bought into
By
it.
that time, I was like, "Ooh, there's another twist." I don't know.
like too many
5 twists upon
So
twists.
there's too many
upon
twists for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally have a note saying 5 twists in a row.
The first time I saw it, I was like, "Yes, I love all these twists." But this time, I was like, "All right, like,
Yeah.
come on."
Well,
guys.
Caleb gets knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
First of all, so he gets knocked the fuck out.
That's
Which-
such a movie thing. You can't knock someone out for that long.
Can
He'd be
you?
dead.
I don't know. We
For
saw.
that long.
Oh, for that long? Yeah, I guess you're
No,
right.
you'd die. You'd be
Oh,
brain dead if you were
good
out
point.
that long from a punch.
Well, I guess we're
But
supposed
sure,
to
it's a
think
movie
that.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a movie thing. I want to talk about the way that the robots stab Nathan's body.
Yeah. What? Cat?
The-
Dog?
The dog's trying to get
Dog's
inside.
scratching the
Oh,
door.
let's get the dog.
Oh,
No, she's loud. She'll be fine.
Okay.
Her daddy is
Um,
with her.
oh. But the way that the robots, like, I thought it
Just
was
like-
so interesting that they stab. They do it with almost like a fascination,
Yeah.
and they stab him so slowly.
Slow.
Yeah.
Like the way you might
Yeah.
like insert a steak knife into a
Yeah.
like a porterhouse.
So smooth. That's
Yeah.
a sharp
I know.
knife.
Smooth.
It was
Yeah.
so unsettling.
It was very unsettling.
Yeah.
Settling.
So what do you guys think? So circling back to this, what do you guys think Ava said to Kyoko when she whispers in her ear?
Stab that bitch.
Stab that bitch. I think that's certainly possible.
It was a long whisper.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe it was like, I'm going to attack him. If he tries to kill me, kill him. Or I don't know. Like,
maybe I'm going to escape.
I'm going to escape.
I also have to wonder, and maybe this is just me projecting human emotions onto androids, but I have to wonder if there was any discussion of, you know, how much they hate him, how this is her opportunity to get back at him for the way that she's been treated. I don't know. And maybe that's why we don't get to hear it. We can project what we think that she said.
Does this? No, never mind.
No, go ahead.
No. We're gonna get to it on the Bechdel test.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah. So I also really love the way that, and this, I don't know if this was an actor choice by Oscar Isaac, but when he's like walking away after he's been fucking stabbed, he's
Yeah.
like, he
Very
just goes,
calmly.
I know, he goes, okay. Like he's just like he's like, well, that happened. And it's like, where are you going, dude? Like, and then he immediately falls over. But I was just like, I liked that choice of the denial that he just
Yeah.
couldn't accept that he was going to
Yeah.
die. He was just like, all right, I guess I'm going to go find a first aid kit, you know?
He very calmly just exited the scene. Well, I just got stabbed. I'll go
Mhm.
take care of it now.
Yeah.
You feel
After
sorry for him
messing
at
up.
all?
No. Fuck
For
no.
him, no. I feel bad
No.
for Kyoko.
I do too. I want her to get freed as well.
I like
was
that he
sad.
tried to choke her out. That was funny.
I know. It's like she's a fucking robot.
She's a robot. What are you doing? What do you
You
think
built
is
a
gonna happen?
perfect machine. She's gonna fucking murder you. Like
she
you
runs
should.
on oxygen. You got lazy. Why would you do that?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, you're so right. I never even considered that. Her throat means nothing.
Yeah, she's a robot. What's gonna? What are you?
She's
what
not
are you
breathing.
expecting?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. But I guess that's just his
Nitpicking.
dumb human.
She passed the Turing test. He thought he could choke
true.
her.
It's true.
Yeah, she fooled him. He forgot he made her.
Yeah.
I forgot I made
From all
you.
the
I
sweet
forgot
love they were
I
making.
forgot you have no lungs. You have a vagina and a clitoris, but no lungs.
Oh my god.
I keep thinking about the mechanism of that vagina.
I know, me
but
too.
that-
I'm like, is it like
metal.
Is
it
it
beads?
soft?
is it
Is
like
it beef? Did you say is it beef?
Is it warm?
beads?
As
Beads.
if it's cold.
I'm
Wait,
imagining-
say it again. What?
beads.
Beads? Beads?
Beads?
Like, you know, those like balls that have like beads in them.
Okay, fair
That
enough.
they're
Fair enough.
soft?
I just thought you said
Yeah.
beef, and I was like, you know, for many reasons, I think that would be a design flaw.
Oh no.
Beads, maybe.
Like you know those squishy balls?
Yes. And Sarah's demonstrating them with her hands right now. It's too bad that
I don't know how that
listeners,
would
you can't
feel on
see.
a male member. The beads.
I
kept wondering, is
I
it
assume
warm?
it
Does
has
it
some
get-
kind. Well, I mean, they can make car seats that will warm your butt, so why not?
Oh God.
right?
Cool.
So
Do you
it's
have to,
got to be
push your
something like
belly
that.
button to get it warm.
Just warm your peen.
And you there's like a setting you can turn it up
Yeah.
or turn it down. It's like when you're sitting in a car with seat warmers, you're like, my ass is sweating. I got to turn this down.
My dick's on
my
fire.
dick
I
is
gotta
on
turn this
fire.
down.
Turn it down to low.
Oh my God, that's so gross.
Okay.
I'm
So
sorry.
no, these are important questions that need
Yeah.
to be answered. So I think we got to talk about this ending here. So she puts she puts on a skin. I will say, the one thing that really bothered me is that she took off an Asian robot skin,
And
put it
became
on
white.
herself, and then was suddenly Caucasian. I
Yeah.
was like, that's a
And
little
also
weird.
it had little squares and lines, and then once it was on, no more lines. It was
Well,
one skin.
so Chris said, well, maybe she can change the skin tone. Maybe that's something that she can do. Maybe the skin tone changes. I don't know.
I wish they would have shown her pick up a boob and like put it on
And
her,
just
'cause I
put
really
a boob
wanted
on her.
to
I agree.
to just pick up a titty and be like,
I did not like her standing there naked for a while. It felt objectifying. It
It was
didn't
a
feel
little
like
too male gazy.
It felt male gazy. It didn't
Yeah.
feel important to her
I agree.
story, her plot.
Oh, there was
It
a
just
lot
felt
of
like,
nudity.
Look at the
Yeah.
naked one.
I agree. That was a little male gazy for me as
Let me-
well.
let me
Also,
re-
that
sorry.
other robot was like 3 feet taller than her.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that skin would have
My
been
note
saggy as
is
hell.
more vaginas than I needed to see.
That's true. There were a lot of vaginas
Lot
in
of-
this movie.
Perfectly shaven vaginas.
Yeah.
I know that I actually felt like when I saw her nude in that image, I felt like her body looked very prepubescent,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it was disturbing to me.
No
Yes.
one had. I don't think anyone had pubic hair in this movie, did they?
Not that I can think of,
Yeah.
I don't
which
think so.
is
Which is
icky.
a robot, I guess, but also like, why
you
are they
can't-
all skinny?
You
little
telling me you
boobs?
can't afford to put some pubic hair on these robots? Give them some dignity.
Well, he's making them like his daughters, and then he fucks them.
Ew,
so who
ew,
knows
ew,
where he
ew, ew, ew.
goes.
You're right. You're right, though. You're absolutely right, and it's gross, and I hate it. It's
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, I could have done with less nudity.
I'd like
Yeah.
to think that once Ava escapes, that she goes and gets herself some pubic hair.
A bush.
Yeah,
Buys a merkin.
that she buys a
Merkin,
merkin and just individually sews.
Oh.
As a robot, she's got a lot of patience, and she just sews those individual pieces of that merkin right into her
I hope
robot
for her
flesh.
she's walking around with a full bush now.
I hope so too.
she deserves
Girl, you
a
let
full
that bush grow. You are a free woman now.
Oh man.
So when she leaves, she doesn't even look at Caleb.
Nope. Not blinking.
She asks him to stay where he is, and he listens, like the dumb boy that he is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like the puppy dog that he is.
And she locks him in there and she doesn't even say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked
Which
up.
Doesn't even look
does she
at him
have a
when she leaves.
conscience? A conscience?
I think she does.
Does she feel bad about it?
I
What
don't
do you
think she
think?
feels bad about it, but I think she knows it's wrong.
I think intellectually she knows that he probably
Yeah,
thinks it's
but I
wrong.
don't think she's gonna have remorse or
Yeah,
feel
no.
bad the way she treated him. Like she had a
Yeah.
goal, she achieved it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So does she pass the test?
Do you think that
Is she
Mm.
human? She's more than human, I guess. Does she even want to be human? I don't think so.
But is she kind of like Nathan in the
Do you think that
lack
she's
of compassion? Yeah.
malicious, or do you think she was just like she had a goal and she wanted to achieve it and she didn't think about him? Like, did she forget about him?
I don't think she forgot about him. I think that there was never a world where she could escape and be truly free if any of one left that house with her. The only way
Okay.
for her to be truly free was for her to leave that place. I don't even think she thought about how she was going to. I don't think she knows what's beyond that house.
Yeah.
She didn't
Right,
know that
'cause she never
helicopter
left.
was coming.
Can we talk about the helicopter?
Well, I mean, it was the 7th day. It was supposed to come and get Caleb, and instead she gets on the helicopter.
Right. So there's a guy driving the helicopter,
Yeah.
and they tell the guy, "You go pick up Caleb."
Mm-hmm.
And then a girl walks in his helicopter. He's like, "Okay, I guess you're Caleb," and goes. That like bothered me the most. Why did he pick her up?
I get the feeling that he probably hires people that don't ask questions.
That's true.
You don't think they know who they're picking up?
I think that if you ask Nathan, if a beautiful woman walks up to the helicopter and you call Nathan and you're like, should I like take this woman? Then Nathan would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You fucking piece of shit. Take the woman on the helicopter. Like, of course, you're not going to spend any more time talking to Nathan than you have to.
Yeah.
That's like, I get it.
That was the one thing that drove me nuts. How does she just get into the helicopter and he takes her? And then what? Where does she go?
Well, I do wonder, like, does she get an apartment? Does she have an ID? I don't know.
Season 3 of what Westworld,
which I haven't. Weirdly, I haven't watched any of it. Is it?
I've
any
watched
good?
the first episode of the 3rd season. I haven't watched the rest of it, but my parents have, and they say it's very good.
Okay, well then,
and there's
I'll get back to
a 4th seasons. They've been
renewed. Okay.
Renewed. Yeah.
Well, anyway, back to this. I wrestled with this myself where I was wondering, like, does she feel any guilt or does she feel bad? And I don't know. I don't know if she does. Chris said his view on it, my husband, who doesn't listen to the show, never has in the 4 years that we've been doing the show. Yeah. So he said that she wouldn't even look at him twice because they're not the same. Like they're not of the same species. They're not the same thing. Mm-hmm. He came in there and looked at her just as a piece of metal, just like Nathan did. And he gone with her.
I think she associates him with Nathan.
I was going to say that's the only human she knows, right?
But also, like,
she knows,
if they had gone together, he would have expected her to do what he wanted. I think that's what she would have assumed. Yeah. But also, like, if she breaks up with him, what does he do? He's just gonna let her go?
Yeah.
Like, I think she had to leave him there. And I don't think she gave it a second thought because all that mattered to her was escaping and being free. And to be honest, after being, who knows how long she's been there? Who knows what Nathan put her through after the kind of abuse and, subjugation that she was in. I think she would have done whatever it took to get out. But it was still kind of cold the way she just left him there to die. She didn't even leave him in the area where he could get a sandwich. Yeah. Like, he's just going to starve to death.
Starve slowly in the room. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
At least Nathan died.
Yeah.
He's just going to starve. Yeah. She should have stabbed him.
Yeah. She should have put him out of his misery. But again, I guess maybe it's like Nathan said, they look at, the robots will look at them as animals. Although she seemed really fascinated with people watching. But is it because she feels a connection to people or because she wants to observe them? I don't know.
Or was she just that? I think that everything she said to Caleb was manipulation. I don't think there was any truth to what she was saying. I think she was telling him what he wanted to hear or what she thought he would find interesting.
I think there was a mixture of truth in there because we do see her at the end at the intersection. That's what she said she wanted to do when she left the house, was to go to an intersection. And that's exactly what we see at the end. So that doesn't necessarily mean she has sympathy or empathy even for the human people around her, so much as like a researcher would go and observe a pack of baboons. Mm-hmm. Maybe they have empathy, but they don't see themselves as the same.
Yeah.
They see them as something to observe, as a curiosity, I
mean, also probably to learn how to be better at looking human and fitting in, right?
Yeah.
Because that's probably the goal, I guess, to just live her life as a human.
To live her life and fit in. I imagine that if she's smart enough, she would also maybe she'd build more robots. I don't know. Does she get a job at, TJ Maxx from here?
I would think she'd steal money because she's a robot. She would know how to get the ATM to just give her money.
Yeah, I guess she could just stick her finger in there and it just like shoots out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some kind of, I don't know, can like technology control technology some kind of way?
So she becomes like a hacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that ending for her. Let her be a hacker. She'll take the whole gut. She's hacking the elections. She's taking the whole system down.
She's too smart to have a regular job. She knows everything, right? She's a robot. True. She can immediately gain all the knowledge she wants.
She can't be a barista, that's for sure. It's too
how would she know if it's too hot?
It's true. She'd be handing people the most scalding hot ass coffee ever. People's mouths are just like melting. So final thoughts on Ex Machina. Final thoughts. Is this a movie you would recommend to a friend?
Yeah. If I don't like the friend.
if you don't like them. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know. It wasn't as bad as
You should see some of the unholy bullshit we've made people watch for the show.
The
it's worse.
unholy.
It was just this genre and me,
bullshit.
I think.
Oh, okay. But that's okay that you didn't like it. That's totally okay.
I like the way it ended. I like
Mhm.
that the so-called victim
Mhm.
right got out of there and won. I
Mhm.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
It really bothered me the whole man building a woman so he can control her
Yeah.
from a
Mhm.
feminine point of view. And I felt
Mhm.
like I've seen enough movies about dudes controlling women. Can we see something else? So maybe that
Mhm.
was my issue.
That's fair. Let's
Um,
see a movie about women making sex robots.
Yeah.
Let's write that movie, you guys.
Yes.
Can
We'll
the
call
belly
it-
button thing be the same
Well,
with the
yes,
dick?
absolutely. The dick warms. The dick gets warmer.
Dick warmer.
Hopefully gets hard as well, but not too hard, just hard enough.
Just hard enough. And then afterwards you program them and they go do the dishes.
Yes, clean the house, make you dinner,
We should write this movie.
and shut up.
Yes. But not making Mr. Right. Not making
No, not making Mr. Right. No, because no. Sarah, your final thoughts on Ex
I
Machina?
like it more as we've discussed it. Like
Mhm.
discussing it makes me like it more.
Mhm.
Because I think this movie is very cerebral, and I think that a lot of our films aren't. And so it's hard.
That's a good point. We do watch a lot of
pull them
shit.
apart.
A lot of dumb shit.
I think it's more interesting to pull apart a movie that really has stuff to pull apart.
I agree.
I guess is what I'm saying.
Instead of making Mr. Right.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because like I thought about this. I was like, what are we gonna joke about with this? This is like actually like a good film. Like,
Yeah.
but
Well, there's
I
always
think-
something
I
to
think-
roast.
Yeah, true.
I got you.
Eva,
always
Ina's got you covered on that. So Sarah, would you recommend this to a friend for their thirsty quarantine watching?
Yes, of course, because of Donald Gleason and
Oh yes.
Oscar Isaac and
Oh, absolutely.
Alicia Vikander.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Everyone. There's lots of nice looking folks in this movie.
Yeah.
Certainly, it's on Netflix. It'll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! I think the Echo is talking to me. Speaking of sentient robots, I love this movie. I loved it just as much the second time. Obviously, the first time was a little more mind blowing because that's what happens when you watch a movie that's kind of a puzzle like this. And as listeners or Sarah, I love a fucking movie that's a puzzle. I love a movie that's a puzzle. So I enjoy that aspect of it. I think the performance is really great. It's very deep, and I would recommend it. I would recommend it to a friend.
I'd even recommend it to you, Ina.
I would too.
I don't hate it as much. I don't hate it as much once we discussed it. And I mean, there is certain depths and there are things that I liked about it. It's just
but I agree.
I'm going to make you watch all 18 hours of Star Wars. You just you just wait. It's going to happen.
But
are there dudes making sex machines there?
No.
Okay. No. Okay. Sorry, Sarah.
Okay.
Yes.
The things that you don't like, I also don't like. Like I definitely have seen the whole man building the robot to control the robot. Like, yeah, I agree. That's not the best. But I did like the way they did this with the twist of she takes control at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think that's the redeeming factor. If it just ended with her and Caleb going together,
Going off to get other.
I don't know if that would have had as much meaning for me, even though I feel very bad for Caleb and I hate that he has such a sad ending. It's funny. I told Chris, I was like, I'd like to think that he gets out, and he's like, no, he does. He definitely dies in there. He fucking dies. Did you not see him throwing the chair at the window?
chair fell apart as he threw it at the glass. There was no way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he'll figure something out.
Sure. He's fine.
He's fine.
I do feel bad though that like
they meet in a coffee shop. She's a barista. They look at each other across a scalding hot cup of coffee.
He drops the coffee because it's too hot.
It's in his lap. It singes his entire crotchal area. Yes, Sarah. Sorry, I was writing a fanfic. I'm sorry. I was writing a fanfic.
But to me, it is sad that like he was just this guy who like he didn't have anyone, and he just fell into it. Like he didn't do anything wrong. Like he
really didn't. He didn't deserve that.
Yeah,
He didn't. He tried to do the right thing. I think that I don't even think it mattered to him if she was with him.
Yeah.
In the end, I now that I think more about what we know of his character, I think that if she wanted to go her own way, I think he would have been fine with just getting her out of that situation.
Yeah, I
I
think
guess.
he genuinely wanted to help and free
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. I don't think he
So.
was a controlling type guy.
No.
No, she
He's-
would have controlled him.
He's soft and bendable like I like my men. Let's do the Bechtel test. You guys ready to do a Bechtel test on the film Ex
Sure.
Machina?
We
Okay,
should be
so let's hop on through the rules real quick. Does this film have more than one female character in it?
Yes.
Ish.
I think that's fair. No, I think Kyoko is a character. She's a supporting character, but she's important.
Sure.
Do those two characters have names?
Yes.
Yes.
They do. Do they talk to each other?
That one time.
Do they
But we
talk
don't-
to each other?
But we don't hear them.
Yes.
They communicate. They don't necessarily talk.
And the main thing is, do they talk to each other about something other than a man?
Probably not.
I'm going to guess no.
Is
Probably
stab
not.
him considered talking about a man?
Yes.
I think so. I think that this film resoundingly does not pass the Bechdel test.
No.
Mhm.
Now, given that I feel like the film is about masculinity, I guess that makes sense-ish. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it certainly doesn't seem to care about the females in this film building any kind of relationship with each other. Doesn't seem to be a high list on the list of priorities for this film.
Yeah.
No.
So that's a no.
A lot of male gazing, a lot of gratuitous. Is that how you say it?
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
It is.
absolutely. You are 100% right there.
Female nudity. So I
Yep.
wouldn't say. Yeah.
A lot of robot nudity because we see a lot of naked robot, like a
Yeah.
lot of parts,
Yeah.
a lot of robot machinery, a lot of nudity,
Right.
and even a nude brain at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
So yeah, I agree. This is a very male gazy film. Despite the fact that I love it, I do love this film. Very male gazy for sure, and does not pass the Bechdel test. Welcome to Plug It Up. This is the part of the show where in times when we're not confined to our homes, we would plug all the stuff that we're working on. And mostly we're working on, I'm working on a bowl of guacamole and chips after this. So, Ina, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Have sex with your partner. It's a good way to waste time.
I
Have sex with yourself.
wholeheartedly agree with that.
Just,
You don't need to
let that
confine
thirst
it.
out.
All the partners at your disposal in your house, you should
Yeah,
utilize
anyone
them.
who you
I'm
can have
sorry.
sex with
All the
without.
partners at your disposal in your house.
in your house.
Ugh.
Consenting adult partners, obviously.
Yes.
Non-related.
You don't think there are
Non-related
people?
consenting adults.
You don't think there are people living in a house with roommates, just swapping rooms right
Oh.
now?
100%. If I had
For
roommates,
sure.
I would have gone there. Of course.
How many homes across America have become polyamorous during this quarantine? I ask you.
God, I never thought about that. I
Thousands.
just thought that everyone was just not having sex.
No,
You're stuck at home and there's someone who's available to have sex with. You're going to have
someone
sex
who's available,
with them
yes,
eventually.
but not someone outside of your relationship. don't
I
know.
mean, I would hope everybody would agree on it
Yeah.
so that everybody is. Anyway, I don't know. Do what you do. I'm not here to judge.
Just try to make yourself feel good because it's rough and don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah, just try to get through quarantine, in one piece.
yeah, I feel bad for
let's
people who are-
let's plug getting through quarantine in one piece.
In one piece.
I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
bad for people who are in relationships, but they didn't live together, so that they can't see each other. So
Oh,
they were
God,
still
that
in
is sad.
initial, because I have a few friends who they were in that phase when they
They're not ready to they're not
they-
ready to quarantine together.
They were to get together for maybe 5 months, and that's too soon for them to.
Oh, is
I
it?
get
Yeah.
that. I mean, Chris and I, once we started dating, we we slept in the same bed from the time we slept in the same bed from the time we started officially dating.
How long was until you started officially dating?
Well, so this is going to sound real dumb, but keep in mind, I was only 20 years old, but we used to work at we met working at a restaurant. And so at first we would just make out in the parking lot after work. And then he was being real weird. And there was a whole series of events that caused me to get mad at him. So I had just stopped talking to him for like 2 months, even though we worked in the same restaurant. And then after he apologized, then we stayed in the same bed every night of our lives, basically since that day, unless one of us went out of town for a couple days. Since like 2001. So I don't know. And then we moved in together like less than a year after we started dating.
2 weeks for me.
Well, there you go.
We moved in together after 2 weeks of dating.
Hey, when you know, am I right?
It was easier. It was a long drive. It was like, what, you're going to drive 2 hours every time you want to see me?
Oh,
Just
God.
move in.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Jeez.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah. I know. Sarah's like, bleh.
No, that's what I want. That's what
I know. You will have that. You will have that. You will.
Someday.
Yes. Not even someday. Soon. But not during quarantine.
Not during quarantine.
For obvious reasons.
No.
But you could find someone and stare longingly at them through a pane of glass.
I'm seeing on TikTok, people are doing like first dates in quarantine. Like a person drops off food and they like,
oh my God, that's going to make me cry.
Or like sit far from each other. It's so sweet and it's totally doable.
Yeah.
And no one is going to expect you to put out. Bam.
There's a lot. I guarantee there's a lot of sexting going on right now.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I think it's a great time to be on Tinder and talk to people and just waste time, just chit chat.
Well, I already have talked to a few guys while in quarantine, but I didn't.
There's more. There's
no, find
apps.
somebody better. Find somebody more.
Yeah.
You need somebody more fun. Find a good quarantine text fling. Yeah. So I guess what we're plugging right now is Tinder.
Sexting?
And sexting.
Sex?
And sex. Ina, you do have an Instagram that you want to plug because you, in addition to being a very funny improviser and writer, you also are making visual art, some digital art. And so hit us with that Instagram handle.
It's Vorina7, so it's VORINA 7.
So go follow Ina on
7
Instagram.
The number, not
check
the
out
word.
the cool art she's doing. Check out all the cool art she's doing. Go check it out.
Sexy.
Yeah, it's sexy.
Ooh.
It's quarantine friendly.
Quarantine friendly.
So while you're looking for something to do, we've got a lot of digital content that you can enjoy. Of course, this podcast, for one thing, but Critical Crop Top, which produces this podcast, we also have a ton of we have like 3 web series, like a bunch of short films, all kinds of stuff up on the YouTube channel. And I'm honestly filling it up with stuff every day, things that weren't already on the YouTube channel. So there's new stuff being posted there every week, old episodes of our podcast, different podcasts that we've had, behind the scenes stuff. I just posted the bloopers and deleted scenes from 80s Dating Video Remix recently.
Just watched it.
Oh, did you enjoy that? That was a fun shoot.
I thought Sarah's character was like the best thing I've ever seen.
I agree.
So funny.
And people love her character. Like when we would screen that movie, everybody... And remember that part where you're like, I just want someone to go to the matinee with. Yeah. Everybody always goes, oh, like every time we screen that movie. Anyway, you can go find that stuff. We're at Critical Crop Top on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we have a YouTube channel, Critical Crop Top, where you can find all that stuff. I'm also doing every other Tuesday, I'm doing Tutorial Tuesday, where I'm doing a very short editing tutorial. So if you want to learn some editing tips and tricks about Premiere Pro, that's also up on our YouTube channel. And this podcast, the Feminine Mistake Podcast, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Feminine Mistake Pod, and you can find us on Twitter at Femistake Pod. Please rate, review, subscribe on whatever app that you are currently listening to us on, and tell us what you thought of Ex Machina. Would you recommend this movie to a friend? You let us know. Did we get something wrong? Am I crazy? Is Caleb a fallen angel or an angel of any kind? I don't know. Maybe I'm just insane. Let us know your thoughts. And with that,
spoilers, she is insane.
Spoilers, I am insane. Quarantine has literally driven me insane. I'm trapped in the house with my children 24/7.
You have a lot of them.
I have a lot of them. Why
At
do I have
least 16.
so many kids?
Stop at 4.
I hide in my bedroom a lot, you guys. I spend a lot of time hiding in my bedroom. I have like 6 blankets on my bed right now. I don't know what that means, but I just keep putting more and more blankets on my bed. I think I'm trying to cocoon myself. I'm like one of those birds that keeps bringing stuff back to the nest, like objects, and just like adding it to the nest.
Yeah. Is anything shiny?
No. Well, no, I do like crystals. I'm one of those bitches who likes crystals.
One of those crystal bitches.
I'm one of those crystal bitches. So I have lots of crystals around my bed. It's weird.
Then you're doing a good job of being a crow.
I'm being a crow.